We have 14 mallards that we're going to release today. There's 3 different batches that we've had for several months at the center. Some came in as very young, tiny babies, just out of the egg. And the rest were a little bit older, but it's 3 different clutches. And they all got combined into one big batch so that they would recognize others of their species and yet not just their clutch mates. They don't stay in the nest very long like songbirds do. They're ready to run around and walk almost as soon as they hatch, and that's for their safety when they're in the wild. They have to be able to escape predators right away. They're still young adults. They're not quite mature yet. They've got almost all their adult feathers except the males haven't molted into their breeding plumage yet, which they will by next spring. So I brought just a little bit of waterfowl food for them, so they'll have something familiar because they'll be hungry. This is the fun part. Okay, here you go. In the beginning, when they come in, they're kept in small plastic containers with ventilation holes and a heat lamp bulb so that they can stay warm. And they stay in there and get fed and watered several times a day, get their papers changed whenever it gets wet and dirty. They constantly need their cages cleaned and their boxes cleaned for their safety and their health. And then they progress to some runs we have set up where there's a small indoor part for nighttime where they stay in at night where they're safe from predators out prowling around. And then in those longer runs, as they get a little more feathering, they're allowed to have a little tub of water to play in. Because when they're born, yes, they know how to swim, but they don't have feathers to stay waterproof. They have no protection on their feathers. They will get totally waterlogged and soggy. When they grow feathers like this, then they get some waterproofing and they have to develop that. And that's what the preening and the cleaning on the feathers you're seeing does. They have an oil gland at the base of their tail that they take the oil from that gland and put it over the feathers, and it helps develop the water protection. But they still have to build up those wing muscles if they're going to migrate any great distance. So they have to get a lot stronger. And that's what they're doing there when they're flapping their wings and exercising. They're just stretching their muscles a little bit, and that's what they need to do. I've seen some of these ducks since they first came into the center, watched them grow a little bit. Getting to see them here, it's just like, wow, this is why we do this. This is very gratifying. It's just more understandable why we do what we do. It kind of puts a nice finishing touch on the season for the Wildlife Center. It just justifies the whole existence of the center and all the hours and hours and hours of volunteers' time that everybody puts in. We don't make very good surrogate parents for ducks, but we do the best we can. And there's so many hazards in the world that threaten their existence that, you know, seeing them get to this stage and be able to go off on their own is just like, wow, we did good. Be ducks as nature intended them. It's very gratifying and it's very exciting to see.